I might look at one more game from round 1 after this. But otherwise, this could be it before we go to the next round.
Prepare to fight.
Oh, Base couldn't even stream the first day. Oh, Christ. Yeah, I saw some VODs just then where Base had like 0-4 of his shoulder trying to fix stuff for him. Because we're with Base and Psygib at the moment. This is their first match of QuakeCon as well. Base from Russia, Psygib from America. And you know what? I actually want to restart that combat because that was just so rapid. So we've got the Mega side. Like one little rocket, no big deal. It just trickles of damage, but you see how he's maximizing every opportunity to do it. And Base doesn't anticipate that there's a rocket down. Now, he should have heard that rocket down. I know the sound in the game is funky, but he should definitely have heard, like, a rocket explosion. Maybe he thought it was, like, some spam. But Base also was losing weapons, so it's not even a bad idea for him to want to die as soon as possible. Psygib's got a really big camera. That rocket to rail is really, really nice. He's trying to find that last angle. I think he should hold it for as long as he can. But he hears a nice drop down. I think Base took like the tightest angle. So as soon as he hears that water moving, he's like, oh, he's left my sides. Vibrance. A lot of players actually play like this, I notice. Very vibrant, guys. Very vibrant. So he's taking a bit of damage. He doesn't want to overcommit to that angle because he's likely to lose a lot more health. He's being super careful. Little double jump in to make sure that rocket doesn't hit him at the floor. And he's very careful about it and actually gets away not taking anything. That's a really sick rail, actually. There was a tight angle. He should hit that follow-up. And Base actually did an extraordinary amount of damage himself. Considering the very brief amount of time that he had available to him. There was a good little lift of the lightning gun and helped push Psygib away. I still think Psygib should have been able to tie... Sorry, extend his frag lead then. So he knows that Pissing Sight was used. He's still pushing anyway because he has no respect. And that's a bit of a mistake. I love that little jump that he does, the double jump that he does to avoid one of the rails. That's just a nice little touch where you know someone's going to go for a shot and you're just anticipating it with the extra little dodging mechanics that Doom has got available to him. He really kind of needs that lightning gun, so not going for it's annoying. He does hear Piercing Sight, so does avoid harm. And this is good, considering he knows that he's overcommitted into a previous fight. He's now keeping himself alive intelligently. And he's got himself to 100-100 without having to force any fights whatsoever. But Base is starting to hit rails too. So at the moment, Psygib is just protecting this small lead that he has, but he should die in a second. And the fact, going up the bounce pad, he had a lot of other weapons. Using the super nail gun, which is effective, but not that effective in mid-range. I think Psygib, yeah, he got done messed up. Even like a rocket jump away. I mean, I think the best move in that instance was the rocket jump upwards towards the railgun. A couple of those rockets are not too bad. Splash damage he's got is okay. That rocket is really good. That rocket should win him, like, the position. But then Base hits an awesome rail shot and kind of makes it hard to tell who's really ahead in this position. And Psygib doesn't even want to go through the teleporter because there is an open rail angle there that Base could go for. That's just massively over-aggressive. You can see that he's shaking his head there. Like, he should never have done that. I'll go... Yeah, that's like... I'd say that's like one of the most over-aggressive moves that we've seen in this VOD review so far. It's just... You shouldn't be doing it at this level of play. It feels like a CTF move to make. You're just trying to whittle down stacks with no respect for the fact that you really need to hold on to the frags that you have in this game mode. And his LG there was garbage. And base just defends quite comfortably. So Psygib finds himself like pretty far behind now. He's still trying to force fights. Make things uncomfortable, but there's definitely room for some good defensive rockets. He's being really, really aggressive. But with that aggression, he's managed to win the Mega Health. That's a nice rail. Really nice rail. His timing's up. Hasn't taken any extra damage. There's a 25 that'll spawn in like 5 seconds, but he has to move. He can double jump across this if he wants, but if he's expecting LG, then don't. So he was winning that Mega like a rotation ago, which has allowed him to fight up and to get his stack at this point. There are some perks to being aggressive. And he's getting baited in super hard onto that heavy. Now base can get himself a kill. He's basically dodging towards it and then dodging away. And Psygib got massively outplayed in those fights. Really, really outplayed. Someone asking, what should someone do when someone abuses the spawn in Awoken? Well, if someone's going for the spawn frag, I always saw that the most effective way is that spawn and immediately strafe left or right. Because if you just move forward, that's not going to get you out there. This is really nice frags from base. Holy crap. And Psygib's been very aggressive on his positioning. He needs to like settle down. I think it's his first match of the day as well. He needs to just, yeah. Going against base, like one of the things that base does best is punish aggressive plays. And although Psygib's had some successful aggressive plays, most of them have not been successful at all. So he's kind of playing into base the way that base wants to be played into. Right, he's landed the rail, but he's kept the rail out. And it's, yeah, an easy kill. He needed to have the rockets out afterwards, which I'm pretty sure he had at that point. So I think Psygib's thinking that this game's a little bit of a nightmare for at this point, and he's getting railed right off the spot. This is a really nice Awoken game from base, but it's helped him a lot that Psygib has probably been over aggressive 3 or 4 times where he shouldn't have been. And I think this is going to be like a lesson to Psygib for the rest of the day, basically, to really be disciplined. And I know that on his stream, he is quite aggressive. And he gets distracted a bit because he enjoys talking with chat. And it's fun to watch, but I don't think that Psygib practices defensive play enough to help him get to be more successful in this tournament than he already was. I still think he did brilliantly in QuakeCon, but I think that certain flaws here, even though it's the first game, it's the signals of, you know, how trained how much you've trained yourself for an event. But yeah, about that spawn thing, I'll just strafe left or right the moment that you spawn, especially if you're expecting nail guns shots. And even delaying your spawn is also a good thing, because then you cast doubt into your opponent's mind as to whether or not you're going to spawn there to begin with. Good rocket spam. And Psygib at this stage is kind of just playing to the end of the time limit now, not playing to win or tie up before the time limit. So this is like a really convincing map 1 win for base. And he's just going. You can see he's being aggressive because he has no choice, really. And the thing is, this makes like a game that it was kind of one-sided make it look even more one-sided. Well, he's managed to force himself a frag, so he's a chance to make it like a respectable scoreline, but there's no way in hell that he's actually going to tie it up. So that rocket, he's taking 100 damage before he switched to a weapon, which can really even challenge base there. Base, to not dodge that rocket, I mean, he would have to be like asleep at the computer. That's a really good route from base. And I think base would be pretty happy with this result as the first map of the day. Like, if I were based there, I'd be like, yeah, damn right. We Euros now. You ain't playing in America. I think base... What position did base come in the end? Wasn't he like top 10 just? Didn't he end up playing base again, in fact, in the... Yeah, he might have played basic. Oh no, it was Avec that played base. Ooh, tasty. Oh, it was Tox and Psygib. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that was 9th, 10th place, I think. And I think base Avec played for 7th, 8th. And then it was the Hangs Ron for 5th, 6th. Alright, so Awoken done. Basically needs... Oh no. I think that was from before. They should be starting again, surely. Did you guys appreciate the fact that in my commentary on Sunday, I was pronouncing Chron's name correctly? Did anyone notice? Did anyone notice that I was making an extra special effort? Please notice. Pajalsta noticed. I don't care if you didn't notice, FaZe. Pajalsta noticed. I do. Chron is how you say it, okay? You noticed that I pronounced it the way he did in his intro. Ah! There we go. Success. No, it's actually not Zron. I say it in online casts because it's easier on my face. But it's actually pronounced Chron.
Round begins in 3.
Cross Ron. Cross Ron. Alright, we have started. Hang on. Just to answer a quick question in the chat. Why was Awoken such a popular map? Such a popular map. I'm going to interpret. It's just probably the most well-rounded map that we have in the pool. It's balanced. People really enjoy it. It's got a great pace of play. A lot of different champions are viable on it, I believe. And I think overall it's just fun. It's new as well, so no one really feels like they're super disadvantaged at the beginning, and it's kind of like practice, 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 and you know there's every chance that you can practice to be better than others. LG spawns aren't exactly good, but you know it happens to both players, right? You've both got a chance to make that happen, and I think a lot of players at that level really don't mind spawn fragging. There's like literally nothing wrong with it. If you have the chance to get spawn frags, then that's on you. Anyway, Psygib manages to get himself spawned up at the top by rockets. He's checking the obvious thing to see, okay, was the railgun taken? It was immediately. Base would have spawned over by the top light armor, but he didn't go for light armor first. He went straight over to the rail. And he's actually been hanging around there this entire time. And Base is playing BJ, by the way, which is an important one to notice too. BJ definitely viable. He was really OP at one point last year, but I think he's really been toned down in a good place. I like that he's going for the peak rail, but he knows the base has the rail too, so he's to like approach with huge caution there. Rail for a rail. He really wants to dodge behind the stairs while he's reloading on the railgun. Now he's just trying to listen out. Okay, where did base go? He was up at the rockets. Okay, it looks like he gets stuck a little bit there. I really think he shouldn't have been hit by that rail. Because he didn't even go for a shot himself or anything. And I love this orb, by the way. Undervalued orb, possibly. He knows that if he gets attacked from the top while he's taking heavy, he's in a lot of trouble. So he wants to spend as little time out in the open as possible. Because if he didn't fire the orb, it would take him that extra couple of seconds to escape. And that's enough time for base to come in and get some kind of exit damage on him. And as you can see, he's got his orb up very shortly after. He's playing out of control at the moment. And he's going for these snap rails. Like, these are hard rails to hit. And he times that perfectly. Takes the heavy and it immediately escapes. He wants to hang around, I think, a little bit longer. Reload and then re-peek. And I think he just spotted him. So it goes for... This is a tough rail shot. But it's like base isn't overcommitting to the angle. He doesn't really have anything to gain by going up the heavy stairs. And that's a good rail. Ooh, Psygib can't strafe across the top in time. Oh, missing both of those shots. Means he just has to fade away. And just make sure that he can get over there in case base tries to challenge from below pillars and go up the bounce pad. Which is not necessarily a bad move to go up the bounce pad in that context. Especially when someone's pushing from the other side of pillars. You can actually get really good angles for damage. And with dual wield, you can get kills that way. So that's the Enigma versus the Ninja, as I see you guys talking about nicknames briefly. Psygib really, really wants armor. But this is a close start. The control's been going back and forth a little bit. It definitely started off as a sort of base game, but it's kind of been changing around a little bit. There's one rail. So he wants to return the rail, but he needs one more. And he does hit it, so he can get away now, knowing that he's not done a bad job. He hit the shots that he needed, even though he took damage in return. It had to be like an equal share. Fake rocket jump. Doesn't... Oh, he does actually spot him now. I hadn't noticed him at the top. This rail, he can't really go forward quickly. It's an interesting move that he made. He really delayed his portal through the orb, just so that he could switch over to another weapon as he committed to that jump. And it's probably something that when base saw him fire the rail, that he would have assumed that he would not go through that orb at all, because it would be suicidal for him to do it. But Psygib had a really good timing on it. And he just saw that dual wield was used, and that he's able to now get himself onto the Mega. So Psygib's constructed this really interesting line of play now. I don't know how he hits that rail shot. Like, he's a wizard. And now base is in trouble. He's just trying to spam that light armor. I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to take it himself. Base commits to the angle. You can hear him screaming. That's a really intelligently constructed frag from Psygib. Like, there's like a minute, almost a minute's worth of play there where he disrupted the flow of the game and caused base to have to adapt to a new situation that Psygib ended up being in control of. Because otherwise you can have like these rinse and repeat situations where, okay, he's going over to heavy and then he's going to do this in order to get back over to mega. But the timings for megas for me, so blah, 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 blah. And you kind of get used to this rotation that every 30 to 60 seconds, things go over and over and over again. And then suddenly Psygib, with just an orb, basically switches it up completely. Oh, that last rocket's really good from him. But he's super weak. Like, he took way more damage than he wanted to. So, escaping now is important. And that's a good defensive orb. And this, actually, the rail's also disgusting. He needs to watch out now. And he's still committing to the angles. Getting these hourglasses. Now he's going to get a decent level of overstack. Spamming the heavy machine gun. So if base wants to approach him, then it was going to cost him in those instances. However, Psygib did not anticipate him to be on the rail area. So Psygib's going to have to move back. Oh wow, he was over there the whole time? That was a really, really weird angle for base to be holding, but nice at the same time. I think we saw... Was that Garpy? No, I think that was Kilson actually. But I think at the same time, base has been pretty passive in this game. He's come up with some good like damage dealing solutions, but I think he's kind of let Psygib take the lead on what's going to be happening. And it's really dangerous at land. If you start going really passive, then, you know, this can happen to you. And you can kind of run out of steam. I think it's mistakes like that that I've seen from Wenger in his very early lands where he doesn't give himself an opportunity to create anything. And again, it's Psygib who's initiating that aggression. He gets the item that he wants. He doesn't have to commit to the fight, but he's kind of squeezing base to make him feel uncomfortable. And this is really nice orb. Going with the algae, he's done enough entry damage. He's still maintained even some overstack from that. And that's like an easy frag for him in the end. And that's just a nice frag. Need to get those ledge grabs to avoid death there. Just spotted him. Does miss one shot, but he's going to commit to this because there shouldn't be a dire orb. Oh my god, that's actually... Psygib's like, whoo, I'm glad I hit that rail. I think he realized, like, afterwards that he didn't really do any proper entry damage. And he needed that heavy to have success. And even that wasn't really enough to guarantee him anything. Now it's just a bit of LG and it's a nice frag. So he's, like, lifted the taps up off this and... It's going to be an easy remaining minute and a half. I say easy. He does good damage. Base is low, but pretty tight. I do love Psygib, though. He's got some great expressions during play. You want that light armor, mate? Dual wield. There's going to be a push through. He knows there's going to be a push through from some way. He's just trying to figure out where. And the game's not actually entirely over yet. He needs to dodge. He's got the dire orb, which is critical at this stage. Okay, that's actually really crazy. The fact that he uses an aggressive dire orb there, I think is a bit of a mistake. Because base can still return in this. Like, I think Psygib's kind of bricking it a little bit. Stealing that heavy armor is just not worth it at all. You just get the hell out of there. You, like, almost guarantee that base can make the comeback if you go for heavy. He's run into another, actually. Like, this is super close. Dual wield he can hear. Oh my god, he's going to get chased the entire way. There is an LG, and I think base isn't that stacked because he's had to focus so much on the frags. But picking up the mega... and a little trickle of damage, that's like it, enough for it to be GG. So Psygib takes map 2. He did enough early on, so the last minute and a half really wasn't enough. Without, like, a couple of... one or two extra things going base's way, and a comeback can really happen there. I want to say, though... shout out to Clar, man. I saw Clar hanging around. What's up, dude? I think Shadow Sea, what's up as well. And Plague, thanks so much for the 8 months as well, man. It was awesome working with you at QuakeCon. Really, really enjoyed casting with you. Hopefully, we'll see you at some more events. If you think that you can't get 2 frags in 35 seconds, then ASAP, you just haven't watched enough Quake. You worried for my voice? My voice was like exploding. I think I lost my voice briefly afterwards. My pleasure, Rue. Or Rouge, if that's the right way to say it, if that's a Russian name. You missed QuakeCon entirely this year due to IRL stuff. How was it this year? What did I do? Days 1 to 3, I was actually doing production with Joseph Mooney and Jahar for the QuakeCon BYOC. I didn't really get to see that much because no games were officially commentated. But Sunday I got to commentate with Ketchup and DJ Wheat, and it was absolutely sick.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Right, anyway, we've got map 3. Psygib and base. Again, this is just round 1. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours, and I've barely gotten through round 1. I don't know how long it's going to take me to review all the VODs that I want to review, but it's going to take a while. Anyway, I'll move that off my face so you guys can see what's going on. So now we've got like a heavy champion matchup, which is really interesting. Like, there's some pros and cons to this champion and banning and picking and map pack picking and banning and blah, 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 if I can talk properly. Even though I think it's convoluted, I do like the diversity that it's brought to champion picks. I think that's like one of the best things about it. Or even Psygib can show his backwards strafing. Or bunny hopping, should I say? This is where the real QuakeCon begins. Hey, we can do what I would have wanted to do the whole time. Is cast as many of the games as possible. I know this isn't casting, but... And it's like semi-analyzing. But again, I really hate casting like retrospectively on a VOD, so I'm not gonna cast this properly and do like play-by-play. But I'll try and get excited when there's exciting things going on. Anyway. It's kind of like giving up on LG because he's got no ammo left. And it's kind of made it a really awkward fight. Psygib saw that he was 88 health, and he was like, I am raidable. I need to get out there as soon as possible. He chose to go a long route. If he dropped down for the heavy area, he would have survived. But he's also got nothing in the heavy area at that stage that really helps him. So it was almost like a lose-lose situation where he would have had to slow the game down way more than he would have been comfortable with. But I still think that, in hindsight, dropping to heavy or even LG would have been a better move. He has got the stronger movement physics, so I do like this counterplay from him, just to get some LG damage on. He really needs to slow down what base is doing, and these rail, if he hits like 1 or 2 of these shots, it brings him back into the game fairly fast. That wasn't a failed rocket jump. That would have been crazy to do. He's just looking for those vertical shots in case anyone thought otherwise. He can't afford to exchange on rails. He really can't afford that. Why there's not time for that? For what during casting? Excuse me? I didn't fully understand there. I actually don't have the timing of heavy at all. He's shaking his head there, so I'm wondering what he's shaking his head about. Did he not? I don't think he wanted to give up the mega health. And he's committed super hard to that angle where he needs to be doing some damage. But Psygib seems really unhappy the first 3 minutes. And I think the first 2 minutes I get it, but he hasn't done badly to get himself back into the game right now. He's going to have another go at this. He has got time, but now he's raidable. Base doesn't want to stick around for it. This is a nice rocket jump. Very nice. He wants to chase for this. He's got to realize he doesn't... If he had LG ammunition, that fight is actually worth taking, but it's just absolutely not there. He's really sucked in that fight. Like, madly so. And when you know you've got to go down to this area for HP, you know that life sucks. Because it's a dangerous spot to go in. It's like, that's like the poverty health bubbles. There's like health bubbles that are good to go for, bad to go for, and then there's ones that just like really make you feel terrible just by going for them. And you can see that Psygib feels like he's totally misplayed a lot of situations in this game, which he really has, to be honest. Again, he's like running low on ammunition. I guess found him. He's still aggressing. Like, Actually manages to get the kill. A very good judge of stack just then. I would have thought that base would have been like plus 50 or so on what he had. So this re-aggression from Psygib. Oh, the grenade. Oh my god. Again, slight overcommitment. He gets around the corner. You don't exactly know what's happening to you. And if you know I'm going versus Keel, you've just got to be prepared for that. You have the mega. You know, you have... You don't need to go for the kill when there's 5 minutes left. If you get that mega and you got time till heavy, then there's plenty of moments to cut him off again on the map. He's just taking so much damage from the top. It feels like... Honestly feels like Psygib's a bit tilted at himself. Again, the amount of times I've seen him shake his head this game is insane. Like, he's... Definitely positioning has been a problem for him, but his timing to go for attacks has also been questionable. There was only that one time that we saw gets the kill down at the heavy where it was like, okay, this was kind of sick. Otherwise, it's been subpar from him, I'm afraid to say. A little mess up on the movement. Again, that missing that rail is just another thing that gets under your skin where you like know that you should be picking it up. That spit, don't really think it was worth it. And he doesn't. If he has rockets there, then he can go in. If he had spit there, then he can, you know, put some extra pressure on. But at the moment, the game's been made a little bit easy for base. Well, not that easy. Like, it's going to be hard to play versus Psygib no matter what. But we can see that he's made a number of mistakes in the first half of the game, which is now pressuring him more to play perfectly in the last half. Like, there's every possibility he can do it, but like, Psygib is the type of person who can make late comebacks, you know? And getting onto Mega, like, this is a good start. The thing is, he needs to be perfect in these fights. He's really late switching to LG. And then, again, it's perfectly exchanged damage. These are fights that he can't afford to have. He has to get the damage about 0.2 to 0.5 seconds earlier than base. And then he needs to, like, hope that base can stick around. That rocket's actually really, really disgusting. And he's 2 HP. He might have the Mega. But he's taking the risks that he feels he has to take. I actually forgot the timing for heavy, so I hope for his sake he remembers it. And he spotted him. Has he mistimed it, or has he got it? No, he's got it. Sweet. But see, he's shaking his head again, like he's really, really not happy about stuff. But this is a nice push. That was sick. He's trying to find him off the spawn. He does find him. But again, it's another moment where it's like, oh, I could have done so much more then. And he needs LG. He really needs LG versus base. I would definitely have taken a moment to go get the lightning gun. Right, he's doing it anyway. I quite like these rocket jumps, actually. This is going to push him out of the room completely, and as long as he doesn't overcommit to this angle, as long as he doesn't drop, then he's fine. Because if he drops, then that gives base the chance to turn around on the item and pick up the Mega himself. And heavy should be up shortly. And now base is like running for the hills. Oh, misjump. Just get the heavy. Let's perpetuate control. Still has a bit of overstack. I like this run from him. This is a good run. 1 health left. Holy crap. And he can't afford to go out to this part of the map because otherwise he just gets shot down with a machine gun. This has to be like a last 20 seconds comeback if he wants a chance. Because it's because of the mistakes at the beginning, he can't really afford to make the comeback any earlier. And I think he's probably going to end up dropping the heavy. Yeah, that's the heavy getting picked up there. So he gets Mega and another light, and that's really his only chances back in. He's checking other lights. He's going a long way away from the mega health. But I think Base is hiding completely. Base might be on the stairs behind Heavy. Otherwise, I'm really not sure where he's likely to be. That's like where I'd guess he is. It looks like he was there a moment ago. Trying to zone out. Rocket's really nice, but you've got to hit those rails. He's shaking his head again. And Heavy gets picked up on the way down. Like, he had to hit that rail. Now it's too late. Yeah, these missed rails have hurt him so much, and I don't think it's possible anymore. 5 seconds to go. Pushes in on him. 2 seconds. Base still gets the last.